Good morning. Happy live at 10:05. I am so excited for today's topic. I think sometimes we try to have a lot of fun and get creative, and I like to give you things that I think are really profound or that you'd really enjoy thinking on or that you've never heard before. But today I want to come back to our foundations. I want to come back to a very simple question, and that is, how do we begin our healing journey? How do we begin? So I want to tell you a story, and then I want to give you the answer. And I just want to remind you that if you are live, go ahead and comment live so I know you're on with me right now. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment replay. And something that I get to do every week is I get to pick one person from the comments, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay, and I get to mail you a love letter. And I already have my letter. So I am sending these out to last week's commenters. You'll be getting your letter very soon. And for those of you watching, don't forget to comment. I love getting to do that. That gives back to me just as much as I know that it gives to you. So I have a story for you. I was at the gym about a week ago, and it was Planet Fitness, and I was on the Stairmaster, which is that machine that allows you to look over the entire room because it's up so high. So this is an entire one-room gym. I'm pretty much on this like little mountain at the top of my Stairmaster, and I can see everyone in the gym. And the gym is closing in 15 minutes. And I knew that. And I actually had just gotten there. And I said, I don't care if I get 15 minutes in today. That is just fine. That feels perfect. So I ran into the gym. I ran up the Stairmaster. And I'm looking out over everyone. And in the course of 15 minutes, which isn't a lot of time, the time is counting down. And I'm realizing how quick 15 minutes is. And I notice my own pace during these 15 minutes is more than I would give it if, I had hours. I'm looking around the room, and all of a sudden, the manager flickers the lights on and off. And he says, 10-minute warning. And he does that, and I look around the room, and I notice everyone hears him, stays on their machine. Some people actually stayed on their machine and started working harder. They started moving faster. Some people transitioned to another machine, but they did it quickly. They ran to another machine and they started. This one guy had his feet on that one that's supposed to be like a booty blast, and he had his feet on the weight. He's sitting down and his legs are up in front of him. If his feet were up in front of him like this, and he's pushing it away, and he starts going, and his feet are pushing. Okay, so I'm up on my Stairmaster observing all this, and I remember distinctly clicking the speed up 2 notches. So we have 10 minutes left, counting down. And then, and this is funny because I've actually been at the gym at closing time a few times, and this manager is very different from the other manager. His methodology is a little bit more rushed. And then comes the 5-minute marker. And this time, he turns all the lights off in an entire huge room, turns them all back on very quickly, says 5-minute warning over the microphone system. And I'm looking, and everyone is so fixated on what they're doing. Their intensity increased, their repetitions are increasing, they are so locked in. And then again, I turned up my machine one more notch. And I actually started doing like this very intentional movement where I was skipping a step and I was really focusing on the muscles, on which leg I was on. And I just remember thinking through all this and watching everybody, and I'm thinking, this is so funny. This circumstance is setting the behavior for everyone. And what's the circumstance? We only have 5 minutes. So I'm realizing everyone is really intent about their workout. How they're working out has drastically changed over the course of 15 to 10 to 5 minutes. And I remember leaving the gym that night, and everybody, by the way, it was like a mass exodus. Everyone stayed until that last minute. They stayed, and I'm watching those last like 10 seconds, and I'm being very like on the clock because I want to get out. I want to be respectful of the gym manager. And everybody in those last seconds is like giving it everything they had. Like this was going to be their last workout they would ever have in their life. And it was so funny to watch. And again, I'm up here on this Stairmaster, so I'm taking this all in. And the reason that I tell you this story is because there was this circumstance, and in this case it was time, that shifted how everybody was exercising, how everybody was moving, how they were being in this moment, how they were treating something that you could do anytime, anywhere, how the intention changed, the mindset changed, the intensity changed. So much shifted. And so our question today is, how do we begin our healing journey? How do we begin? And the answer, which, believe it or not, you actually already know, is actually in the question. How? How do we begin? So this is just a 3-letter word, and I want to ask you some questions that I want to slow down a little bit, and I want you to reflect on. When you go through your day, when you start your day, how do you wake up? Every morning, how do you wake up? How do you get out of bed? How do you eat your breakfast? How do you eat all of your meals? Good morning, Alyssa. Good morning, Edie. Good morning, everybody. Slow this down with me for a moment. When you're walking to do the dishes, how do you stand at the counter, at the sink? How do you wash each individual dish? Hurried, slow, intentional, with our mind somewhere else. How are you moving around your home? Are you multitasking? Are you fixated on one thing? Something that is a trigger for me, and I mean that in the best of ways, it's a reminder to me of how I am being, how I am moving, is when I'm brushing my teeth, actually. I started to realize that at some point in my life, I started feeling very behind, which was last week's topic on the importance of feeling ahead in everything that we do, and how to do this. And at some point, I started brushing my teeth while I was doing everything else. I could never just stand in front of the mirror and brush my teeth and just be right there. I realized I was brushing my teeth and laying out my outfit. I was brushing my teeth and trying to make the bed. I was brushing my teeth and thinking about the next thing already and what I already had on my to-do list that was next for the day. But it didn't occur to me until I realized that I wasn't in the bathroom anymore and I wasn't looking in the mirror. And I was actually brushing my teeth like a mad woman instead of brushing my teeth and being so intentional. So I just want to ask you a few more questions. How is your posture? How is your posture? How is your health? How is the pain in your body? How is your mental health? How is your overthinking? How is your anxiety? How is your depression? How is your healing? All of these things, all of these last couple questions aren't one choice or one act or one day. The answers to all of those things are decisions we've made in an entire lifetime. All of these things, how we're feeling every single day, how we're feeling in our body, how we're feeling in our mind, it's a compilation of so many choices that we're not even seeing. And we might not even be seeing them as choices. We're actually just going through our day feeling like we're on this autopilot and someone else is actually in the seat. The driver's seat, the control room. It doesn't feel like us, and it certainly doesn't feel like we're going through our day in a state of healing. Right? And I actually want to tell you a secret. And that secret is that it's actually not being in a state of healing 100% of the time in order to heal our body or heal our mind. That is not the solution. It's not. It's actually how many times, how easily we can come back to healing. We're not trying to get rid of stress. We're not trying to get rid of anxiety. We're not trying to defeat it in any way. Circumstances are going to happen. Stress is actually good. Anxiety is actually a superpower. We don't think of it that way, of course, but when we slow things down and we really are thoughtful, absolutely. Biologically in the body, stress is a fantastic response of our immune system. It puts our soldiers in place. So if these things are good, where's the problem? Where's the interruption that we need? What's going on? So the secret actually is easily returning to a state of healing when we experience these anxieties, these stressors. And how do you do that? Something I love that we heard yesterday from my business coaches. It's not about perfection. It's about being in the 51%. And by that she meant it's not 100% of the time. It's majority, just over the 50% mark, just 51% of the time. But that's not where we start our healing journey. We don't start at 51%. We start at 1%. And I want to show you the power of 1%. Let's say that today, and this is something personal to me that I know, and this is something that I would have to gauge from speaking to you to decide the most effective 1% for you. But for me, it's water intake. And for actually most of our country, we are severely dehydrated. So I'm using this example because not only is this huge for me, but this is going to be huge for you too if you chose to choose this one. Okay. If I did nothing else on my healing journey, because I want to feel better, I don't want to feel pain in my body, I don't want the overthinking, I don't want the anxiety feeling like it's out of control. I don't want any of that. If all that I did, starting today, was have 1 cup of water sitting on the counter, I said I'm just making sure that I finish this cup by the end of the day. 1 more cup of water, 1 intentional cup of water. That's it. And this entire week, I just tried to do that. It's not going to be perfect. It's a brand new habit. I can't do it every single day. Or maybe I could do it every single day, but then after a week, it's kaput. So I just say, for the month of February, as many times as I can remember, I'm going to put this cup of water right on the counter, and every time I see it, it's a reminder. Finish the cup. Drink your water, Morgan. Over the course of that habit, and let's say just 1 month of me making that change, I am now experiencing, because of that bonus water, that intentionality, hydration, circulation, healthier digestion, more energy, more responding logically, thoughtfully to things instead of being reactive, instead of being emotional in a way that doesn't feel good. Because I don't look at it as emotion as a bad thing. We think emotional is a bad thing, but I think we're relating that to loss of control, to ways that we act that we don't feel good about or don't feel aligned with who we want to be. Just from 1 cup of water, so much physically it is having an effect on, so much mentally it is having an effect on. And now, because I'm feeling better in my body, any skeptic in my head that said, I can't do it, this won't work, this one thing isn't really carrying a whole lot of weight, is actually shushed. It's silenced because now I have the evidence, now I have the proof. Physically, I'm feeling better. I'm sleeping better. I'm waking up feeling more refreshed, more restored from doing one thing. But what is behind the scenes here too? I did it. I now have this confidence again. I'm rebuilding this confidence that my body can actually heal itself, that I can set out to do something and actually follow through and actually accomplish it. And that feels amazing. And that is 1%, my friend. That is 1%. And that is the magic. So what I want you to do, this is your 1%, and because this applies to all of us, and this is going to bring you back into that healing state. Remember, that secret is always, how easily can we come back to healing? So I want us to start practicing coming back to healing, coming back to our foundations. And remember, if you guys are here, I can't see all of this on my phone right now, but remember to comment live or replay, because I'm sending everyone I'm picking 1 person from all the comments and sending a love letter. Okay. So you guys are going to have a couple days, and then I'm taking someone out of the comments. But I want to come back to this one thing I want you to do. This one thing. And that is, it's not going to be the cup of water. Starting tonight when you brush your teeth, and tomorrow morning when you brush your teeth, and anytime you brush your teeth for the rest of February, I want you to report back to me. You can post it in the group, you can comment on this video. What I want you to do is take 2 minutes. If you're not already brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, I want you to intentionally try to brush your teeth for 2 minutes And during those 2 minutes, I want you to help your body return to a state of healing. And during that time, you are doing nothing else. Nothing else. And it's going to be tricky. But what I want you to do is, you're going to brush your teeth in front of the mirror. And I want you to be so intentional and so thoughtful about how gently you're cleaning your teeth, about how much this 2 minutes, this one so simple action is an absolute opportunity, an act of healing every single day, because you're already brushing your teeth. We're actually doing something called habit stacking. We're taking something, this is from Atomic Habits, this is James Clear, taking something you already do, we're increasing your chances of success, and you also have this accountability. And you are teaching, you are retraining your body in those 2 minutes the importance of doing small acts of healing every single day. You are returning to a state of healing. You are starting your day in a state of healing. You are closing your day in a state of healing, which is why I chose this 1% for you. How easy is that? And here's what's going to happen. You're going to forget. And every time you forget, I want you to think of it as like a bicep curl for your brain. I want you to think, oh my gosh, I get to come back to remembering this. Oh my gosh, I remembered. I want you to like do a little dance in your head or in real life. Oh my gosh, I remembered. I'm brushing my teeth, and Morgan said this is a time of healing. This is my act of healing that I get to do every single day, and I get to make it so easy. And I'm allowed to forget some days. I want you to forget so that it feels so good the days that you remember. Retraining our brain doesn't happen overnight. Poor posture doesn't happen overnight. Bad health doesn't happen overnight. Returning to a state of healing doesn't happen overnight. But we are totally in control of when it does start and how we build. So, my last housekeeping piece for you is that in just a few days, Ignite Inner Healing is beginning. This is that foundational work. It is a 30-day container together, one-on-one, completely private, completely your own experience, and it kicks off. It's 30 days long. It is building these foundations with a stress and anxiety coach. It is having that personal look at where your most efficient changes can be made for your own acts of healing, putting them in place. And a lot of it is creating this time once a week to be igniting our inner healing that ripples into every single part of us. So it's 30 days. It starts in just a few days. Because I've had a couple people reaching out, I'm really thinking about extending it. But right now, if you just want to learn more, you want to see the website, you're curious what this is all about, go ahead and comment the word Ignite, I-G-N-I-T-E, Ignite, and I'll make sure that I send you the website. Okay? I am so excited to do this. I've never done something so small, like such a small, just 30 days of instant wins and instant coming back to this inner healing. So I'm over the moon to share this with you. Okay? So comment Ignite. Make sure you get your comment in any which way, whether it's watching live, replay, so that I can add you to our list for our love letter that'll be going out before our next Friday Live. All right, my friends, happy teeth brushing, happy 1% acts of healing.